News just reached me that Gabi Delgado, the vocalist of legendary German new wave group Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft, has passed away last night at the fairly young age of 61. His passing comes as a surprise to me, as well as it seems to many of his collaborators and friends. Delgado was still performing with Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft quite recently, actually. And I was very much looking forward to see them perform sometime in the future. Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft are one of the most successful groups of the Neue Deutsche Welle, the German New Wave movement. And not just in Germany, but especially internationally. Their first 3 albums can all be regarded as being key works of their time, significant in creating and contributing to the burgeoning industrial and electronica scene of that era, and very much a huge inspiration of various artists to come in the future up until now even. Starting out as a 5-piece in 1979, Delgado and drummer and synthesizer player Robert Girl abandoned most of the rest of the band to become a 2-piece by 1981's Alles ist gut, probably their most significant release. Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft are most well known for their archaic and martial electronic sound of menacing synthesizers and pummeling drum beats, which very much inspired the still nascent German techno scene, as well as pretty much single-handedly creating the EBM subgenre. Delgado, who was born in Cordoba in Spain, really was one of the most interesting vocalists of the German new wave scene. His dark, menacing brawl, which would alternate with almost feminine type of spoken word vocals, was very, very unique for the time and had a very schizophrenic quality, oscillating between this really menacing masculine sound and this very vulnerable, at times even sexual intonation. Add to that Delgado's oftentimes very, very dark and political lyrics that never shied away from exploring society's dark side and subconscious. Songs like Verschwende deine Jugend, Der Räuber und der Prinz, and Als wär's das letzte Mal also oftentimes dealt with the realities of queer life. Delgado was openly bisexual, which of course is very apparent from the lyrics to these songs, but during this time he was also considered a legitimate provocateur who overstepped boundaries in German society that still many regard as a taboo. And aside of these unique qualities as a vocalist, Delgado was also, as I just said earlier, still performing. I know a lot of people who had seen Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft live or who ran into Delgado over the last few years. And by all accounts, he was still a very energetic performer who seemed at the top of his game and in best health, oftentimes dancing and sweating the whole set through, pouring water bottles over himself as he did. I really can't stress how much this really shocks me. Delgado is one of the true giants of the German new wave scene, and somebody who managed to inspire many of the key artists of that country, including large portions of the German electronic music scene, but also acts like Rammstein, who, of course, in their type of provocative lyrics and also in the same type of vocals, were very, very inspired by Delgado. If you weren't already familiar with Delgado's large output with Duff, I very much would recommend you to sit down and take a listen to Alles ist gut. While the record does not really capture the project as a band, like on the first 2 releases, Alles ist gut really is the record that coined what Duff are. It's a wildly provocative, wildly unique, wildly influential release that has Delgado really at the top of his game, both as a performer and as a lyricist. It's easy to see here, also with the striking album cover, why Delgado was an icon of the Neue Deutsche Welle era, was an icon also to many queer people as being openly bisexual. So for the rest of the evening, I'm going to sit down and listen quite a few times on repeat to my personal favorite song of them, Als wär's das letzte Mal, remembering Gabi Delgado.